Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Today, I'm sharing a true heartwarming and inspirational story of faith, compassion, and the transformative power of Islam. This is the story of Cassie, a 23-year-old nurse who embarked on an unexpected journey of faith through her dedication to a special patient. Stay tuned, as her story will inspire and move you. Cassie graduated as a qualified nurse and began her first job as a home nurse. Her patient was an English gentleman in his early 80s who was suffering from Alzheimer's. During their first meeting, Cassie reviewed his medical records and discovered that her patient was a convert to Islam. Understanding the significance of this, she adapted her care to respect his faith Islam and ensured there was halal food and no forbidden items like pork or alcohol in the home. Despite her patient's advanced condition, Cassie noticed some intriguing patterns in his behavior. He would raise his hands, bow, and put his head to the ground at specific times of the day, while also repeating sentences in a language she didn't understand. Looking at her patient's actions and moments, curious and compassionate, Cassie sought to understand these actions and moments better. Cassie discovered through online discussions and research that her patient was performing the actions of Islamic prayer and reciting verses from the Quran. Amazingly, despite his severe memory loss. Cassie being a nurse and medical student, this was really hard to believe. How can a man with complete memory loss perform and recite the Quran so perfectly? How can he retain these deeply ingrained practices? This revelation moved Cassie deeply and ignited her interest in learning more about Islam to care for him more effectively. Cassie explains, "Many of my colleagues could not understand why I was going through so much effort for him, but I understood that a person who commits to a faith deserves that commitment to be respected, even if they are not in a position to understand." Cassie noticed that her patient didn't allow her to feed him with her left hand, and she felt this was linked to his religion, but wasn't sure how. One of her colleagues mentioned a platform called Paul Talk, where she could engage in discussions and ask questions about Islam. Cassie decided to explore this further. Cassie entered an Islamic discussion room called True Message on Paul Talk. She asked questions about the repeated movements her patient was making and learned that these were the actions of prayer. Skeptical at first, Cassie started watching videos on YouTube about Islamic prayer and was amazed. Her patient, who had lost all memory of his children and occupation, could still remember the actions of prayer and verses in another language. This was nothing short of incredible, Cassie says. "I knew that this man was devout in his faith, which made me want to learn more in order to care for him the best I could." Cassie began listening to and reading the translation of the Quran. She even saved a recording of the Quran on her iPad for her patient to listen to, which brought him immense joy and comfort. As Cassie delved deeper into her patient's faith, she found herself seeking answers for her own soul. Her journey led her to a mosque, where she observed the prayers and felt an overwhelming sense of peace and belonging. The mosque community, the imam, and his wife welcomed her with open arms, answering her questions with clarity and depth. Cassie recalls, "Every question I asked at the mosque and on Paul Talk was answered with such clarity and depth that I could do nothing but accept them." Cassie realized that her patient had been brought into her life for a reason. Despite her own losses and hardships, she felt a newfound sense of peace and purpose through her interactions with him and her exploration of Islam. One evening, during a conversation with a speaker on Paul Talk, Cassie was asked what was stopping her from accepting the Islam. She couldn't find a reason to hold back. The following day, at the mosque, she declared her faith by reciting the Shahada, "There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger." Cassie described the feeling of saying the Shahada as waking up from deep sleep, and the experience after accepting Islam is overwhelming joy, clarity, and peace. She shared her decision first with her patient, who responded with tears and a smile, sensing the profound change in her. Sadly, shortly after her conversion, Cassie's patient passed away peacefully. She felt an immense gratitude towards him, seeing him as a guiding light to her newfound life and faith. Cassie prays daily for his mercy and strives to honor his memory through her devotion to Islam. Cassie's true inspirational story teaches us that Allah's guidance can come in the most unexpected ways. It reminds us of the beauty of Islam and the incredible peace it brings to our lives. Even in the face of hardship, faith can be a beacon of hope and strength. Dear viewers, never underestimate the power of your actions and the influence you can have on others. Cassie's journey shows us that through kindness, compassion, and seeking knowledge, we can find our true path. Cassie's story is a testament to the power of faith, compassion, and the incredible journey of finding Islam. It reminds us that Allah's guidance can come through unexpected ways, and His mercy is boundless. Islam is an open door for those seeking peace and purpose. Verily, Allah is the most merciful, the most kind. Thank you for watching. If you found this video motivational and inspiring, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more uplifting content. May Allah make us among those whom He loves the most.